Welcome back, everybody. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at how to make a desktop computer. Well, this is actually, again, much more simple than it sounds. So what we'll do is we'll click in here and we'll tab. We can actually stay in object mode. And what I'll do is I'll scale along the x-axis. And this will give us a nice little tower here. Now, if you've played older games, anything probably before the year 2000, if you ever saw a computer in a game, this would literally be the geometry. Now you're probably thinking, well, they seem to be more detailed if you've ever played a game from that era. And the reason is that what they would do is they would put an image, and it's what they call texturing with 3D modeling here. They'd put an image there because it was much easier to render a detailed image within the game engine versus, let's say, adding in a whole bunch of geometry. So there's really two ways we can go about this. We can add in every single little piece of geometry here, or we can add in an image here. Now, of course, this is not the end of the tutorial, although if it was, 1996, this would literally be what you would have in the game, because you might have, let's say, 20 of these, and that's a lot of vertices, at least for the time. What we will do, though, however, is we will add in that bevel modifier here. And this bevel modifier looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm actually going to take up the segments up to 4 here. And this is going to be enough here. Now, again, if you really want to do architectural renderings, you want to take it up this high. Now, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to apply it. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. See all these vertices here? That's quite a bit of vertices for this simple little computer object here, although it does look quite nice. Okay, so having said that here, let's just go back and I'm just going to push Command Z to undo that here. Let's go to bevel and let's take it maybe up to 8. Okay. Now before we do anything here, let's go and let's modify this just a bit here. So I'm going to go into Edge Select. I'm actually just going to move this back a bit. Okay. I'm going to make this look a little bit cooler than it actually is here. Now, watch what happens if I go into Face Select and I push Extrude. Okay. You can see here that the modeling in the bevel works, but doesn't work the way we would necessarily want it to. Okay, so let's just keep it like that here. What we can do, however, is once we go ahead and apply this, we can make the back look a little bit more intense here. And we can even add in a couple more objects here. So I think actually what we can do is just adding in. Oh, and by the way, if I push I believe it's 1, 2, 3. This is the side view. Just by adding in that little angle here can make quite a bit of a difference. Sometimes very subtle things like adding in small angles or stuff like that will make quite a bit of a difference. So let's go ahead and let's go and push apply here. And of course, you have to be in object mode to apply that here. Now, if we tab back into edit mode, you can see that we have this here. Let's take a look at the back here. And again, like in the last tutorial, we don't want to put too much detail in the back. So I'm going to push E to extrude, right click, and then I'm going to scale this inward, okay? And I'm going to push E to extrude, and I'm going to push, yeah, I'm just going to move it back like that here. And so here you can add in all the ports if you want to, but there you go. That looks like a pretty cool back. Here. Let's go ahead and let's add in a couple of things on the front here. And what we'll do is these are kind of like disk drives or something like that. So let's go ahead and let's do loop, cut, and slice. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of move around here. Loop, cut, and slice. And we need to go and you need to find where that pink object is. It might be different on yours. But what we'll do is we'll just move one up here. Loop, cut, and slice, move one up here, loop, cut, and slice, and yeah, I think that looks good. Now, one other thing we can do is we'll add in one more loop cut here, and we'll just add it right there. Okay. Now, let's go ahead, and this looks good. Now, let's say if we hop into face mode here, and we kind of extrude this one way or another, or we kind of move it out. That looks kind of cool, but it's not exactly what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and let's do one more thing here. Let's do a loop cut, but we'll do it vertically, and we'll just add in somewhat of a border here. Sometimes adding in a border is the most simplest way to make anything that you do look a lot better. So here we go, we have disk drives here. Now keep in mind though, if we were to render this here, like if we look in object mode, that doesn't look like we've done anything. So we have to do something a little bit more here. And let's just hop into face mode here. And there's two things you can do. We can kind of scale it in. That doesn't look too good. We can extrude it, and having all of these extruded just a bit actually looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click all of these here. I'm going to push extrude, and I'm just going to make it ever so subtly forward like that. So if we tab back into object mode, you can see that it does make a difference here. Now, having said that, I'm just going to move it out here, and I think that actually looks pretty good. Okay, now of course we can add in like a power button or something like that here, but if we're going into simple architectural renders, this actually looks pretty good. If we really wanted to, we could even scale this in a bit, if we really wanted to, but I think actually this block looks good. It's hard to see, but within the lighting within an engine, it will look a little bit better. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.